Come on out of there, whoever you are.
I'm sorry, lady. I need the house.
Yeah.
We sit in the sun, in waves, we sleep, and we dream. Each of us dying slowly, the prison of our minds. We sit in the sun, in waves, we sleep, and we dream. Each of us dying slowly, the prison.
I demand to know what's going on in my house.
Stupidity, rewarded, addicted, generation. Stupidity, rewarded, addicted, generation. Stupidity, rewarded, addicted, generation. Stupidity, rewarded, addicted, generation.
We exist in cyberspace. Clusters and constellations of data. This is the future. I'm detecting a strange anomaly in the matrix. We've been transported to the future.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to GG Leagues. Today we got a game between ONU Varsity versus the Akron Akorns. My name is Dave. I want to be your caster today, alongside my co-caster Mercenary. Mercenary, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing today, bud?
Doing pretty good. Online classes going well.
Oh, yeah.
Zoom hasn't let me down yet, but anyways, we're going to be getting right into this game, and they're going to ban out some pretty spicy picks. The Katarina being banned on the side of ONU. I'm guessing that's towards Leroy, who, I mean, I usually don't ban Katarina unless somebody one-tricks it. In that case, it's just super dangerous. And also the Master Yi on the side of Akron, they don't want to see that. So two pretty big hyper carries banned out, as well as a lot of junglers.
Yeah. Oh, and there's the Ornn pick top. Definitely a very strong top layer currently. I'm surprised I didn't see a ban there going on. And Lee Sin for jungle as well. That takes a pretty... Master Yi... Well, not Master Yi. Sorry, Lee Sin is very easy in concept, but hard to master. And we have a Cassiopeia mid dropping as well. Also a pretty good mid laner. And they're going to counter jungles and mid lanes by an Orianna and a Sejuani here.
Yeah, right now I'm really liking how the team comp on the side of ONU is forming up. I mean, Ornn, Sejuani, Orianna, there is a clear win condition there. You want to find a big team fight where you chain all your ultimates together. They have really good synergy. Sejuani is also going to open up the map. She has a really good early game, so hopefully Snyder is going to be able to find some counter ganks against Lee Sin. Typically, Sejuani does okay in the Lee Sin. I've played the matchup before. You just have to Try not to find the 1v1 and just counter gank when you can, because your passive permafrost is super good.
Yeah, and what I find interesting is that Annie pick as well. Is that going to be the Annie down in the bot lane? Or is that maybe a Cassiopeia ADC going down there as well? Something we haven't seen too much of is Mage ADC in the bot lane going on. So
Yeah.
that should be an interesting matchup of whatever ONU decides to pick into it.
Now, one combo that I have seen before is Nami Cassiopeia, which is disgusting. Nami throws her E on the Cassiopeia, and they actually change the ability so it gives extra damage to your abilities. So Cassiopeia hits a Q and 2 E's, and you are at a third HP. It is just super broken. So they could be picking it. So you could see the Cassiopeia Nami bot lane. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they decided to flex it top and have Pexi play. There we go. There's the Vayne pick. So my theory is that they're going to flex it top. Cassiopeia ranged does pretty well in the Ornn if you're able to poke him down slowly. A little poison over time. You just can't find those big trades. But Tom Kench being hovered right now, we could be seeing Tom Kench Senna. It rose to popularity in pro play, so we could see it here. Perhaps both are still up.
And it rose popularity a few patches ago, but some changes to Senna's what is it, little soul collection did change that and nerf it a bit, though it is still quite strong. We don't see too much in pro play. That Vayne and Cassiopeia are definitely going to be quite enigmas because they could swap between bot and top, though Cass might be the upper hand against that Ornn up there, especially magic damage. 2 seconds here, and we are going to see that Senna Tom Kench bot lane. Definitely an interesting one for sure. And it's going to be, looks like the Morgana support. Definitely a strong caster support down there, but for the side of the Akorns here, that's a lot of magic damage, not much in the way of frontline coming out for them.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely favor ONU. I feel like their comp is just simple to execute. Good, clean team fights if they position right. You know, put Ornn and Sejuani in the front, look for engages there. Sit Senna and Orianna in the back. Just let them sort of poke down, and then if they find the engage, then all in. But on the side of the Akorns, it looks like they just have raw skill and talent that they want to express this game. So if they dominate the early game, then they're looking at a pretty easy win on the side of the Akorns. They just run their entire team down. But if they aren't able to find these early leads, then they're gonna have to face like the nasty mid late game of ONU.
Well, we'll definitely see that down here on the Rift in just a couple seconds. But we'll see you guys down for this match versus ONU Varsity versus the Akorns.
Anytime you're playing music for the crowd instead of yourself, you're fucked.
And welcome back, GGLeagues fans, to this wonderful match as a Michigan Division B. We're here with Davenport versus Valpo Esports. We're going to pause here for just a second. Trying to count down as we are having some technical difficulties here, unfortunately. Alright. Well, as we're sitting here ready, we're resuming in just a couple seconds here. And we are back and ready to go. Everyone's lining up. We were having some technical difficulties there. That does tend to happen around these times. Namely, just because of, you know, coronavirus and everyone being stuck at home and whatnot. But we're seeing them dodge into the match here. Looks like everyone's just lining up at a 5-point start. Maybe a bit of an invade happening up here over on blue side, though.
I'm not sure if they're really going to find anything. They're just going to put a ward down. Going to go back by sweeper. It's a pretty classic move that most junglers are doing nowadays. I think it was Tarzan who came up with the idea of getting the ward and then getting the sweeper. Well, I don't know if he created it, but he's definitely who popularized the technique. So nice to see. Not much of an exciting start. Pretty slow. I'm surprised that that Akron didn't go for an invade. I mean, they had the Morgana, they had the Lee Sin. Definitely would have been pretty spicy, but they're deciding to play it safe. So I can respect that.
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with playing it safe. A couple more seconds here until buffs are spawning. I feel like bot lane is definitely going to be one to watch, especially with the not very common pick, not anymore at least, with the Senna and Tom Kench. But I also want to view that top lane as it is definitely a strong one between that Cassiopeia and Ornn. I want to see how Ornn does into that matchup, because you don't see much of the way of counters for him lately.
Yeah, I am definitely expecting top lane to just be shoved in the Ornn constantly. Cassiopeia has a really good clear, and she's since she's a ranged champion, she can poke down Ornn pretty effectively. So unless he finds some miracle combo, he's gonna have a pretty difficult time. So all Cassio has to do is just stay away from his E.
Yeah, and Senna's gonna be
and Q and kite back.
Yeah, as we're talking there, Senna's gonna take a little bit of damage. She's gonna be just fine though, keeping it off. She has to play it safe. It looks like they are doing the strat of Tom Kench taking the farm here, which is always phenomenal. Yeah.
Exciting gameplay. Lick.
Ooh.
Bam.
Yeah.
Yeah, Senna is super annoying to deal with. She has that glacial augment, so all of her autos are just going to be slowing. And her Q, too. Going to be slowing, too.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Super annoying.
Something I found interesting over in the top lane, Ornn did take a corrupting potion, and as long with some biscuits there, definitely going to keep that health up. But I would have figured he would start Dorn Shield, especially with that that strong matchup against him. I mean, even with the farm difference, it's 15-5 up there so early in the game.
Yeah, usually I wouldn't say corrupting on Ornn. I'm a little bit of an Ornn player myself. It's not as good because you don't really have any options with going into something like... What is the thing? Like, you don't really... Like, you have good sustain already. You don't really need the corrupting potion because you can buy items in lanes, so you can always just get mana in lane, so you don't really need the corrupting potion. It's mainly for people who are very bursty and need a sustain in lane, but he like doesn't really need it, so that's why Dorn Shield would be like the better pick.
Yeah, meanwhile in the bot lane there seems to be a chase going on, but here in the mid lane, Sejuani showed up just to get some pressure down. Sees that there's that big thing happening down there, but she's got to do the flip around, getting some damage on. TP coming down from mid, all the way from the top lane. Cassiopeia is going to be just by, grounding everyone. Flash coming out from Mariana, she's going to get away with the flash and the... Oh, whatever Lee Sin ability that was. Kick coming out and doing some damage, getting first blood for Lee Sin. And he is low. Same with Cassiopeia as Tom Kench here is chasing nearby. He's going to get stunned, and Cass is going to be able to get out alive. That was definitely yeah. It was a good fight.
I think Sejuani should have kept running. I don't know if that was the best option, but a really good TP coming out from Cassiopeia. Surprised Ornn decided not to follow. He just shoved in top wave, which really isn't going to punish Cassie at all because here she is coming with Lee Sin, so that could be Lee Sin's just going to go into their camps, but Cassio going to lose like 2 minions that also pick up assist and a kill for her jungler, which is pretty good. So yeah, first blood going to Akorns.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a fun time down there on bot lane with Senna being able to keep sustaining the damage coming out there. But even though Orange shoved in that wave top lane, it's not gonna get him much. As Cassiopeia is once again taking control of the lane. He does have that Negatron cloak though. Definitely gonna add a little bit of magic resist to an already beefy guy.
Yeah, Ornn gets super beefy now. They actually did make a couple of changes. The Ornn, now when he gets his molten upgraded items, he gets them at level 13 instead of level 12. So there's a little bit of a delay to his power spikes. A little bit of bot lane synergy clearing out that ward. You love to see it. So they're just gonna put one right back down. But yeah, as I was saying, yeah, Ornn did get a couple of changes. He is nerfed, but he's still just super tanky. The changes were mainly to like his damage.
His damage.
Laking.
And he doesn't need much, especially with the change to Bomby Cinder. He could still be tanky and do a large amount of damage. So it doesn't really affect him all too much if he just builds Bombies first. But it does not look like what he's doing. Might be going for that Abyssal Mask first item. Definitely some good magic resist there.
Yeah, I think Abyssal Mask is the move. I mean, he already has one of the components. I mean, there was an
Ooh, in the mid lane. Lee Sin diving in, trying to get the stun out. Stun's coming down. The cleanse gonna land for Orianna. Ignite's coming down. The ult coming on top of Lee Sin, but one more auto might just do it from Annie in the Ignite. But Orianna's gonna get away by popping off a shield then. Meanwhile, Sejuani coming into the lane and cleaning up the match here. The flash coming out from Lee Sin. He's gonna make it out just barely. Honestly, Sejuani could have dived in there and probably gotten the kill too without much in the way of fuss.
Yeah, Orianna living on a prayer with that E right there. I was able to get out safely. That was a really well-timed cleanse. She wasn't able to cleanse the Ignite, but because Annie had a little bit of patience, but still got out, and Sejuani was able to clean up the kill really easy by just Q flashing.
Yeah, but that pressure in the mid lane is going to get them that first Cloud Jake here, which is definitely good for them.
Yeah, they have a lot of key ultimates that they're gonna have to they're gonna want up all the time, and that's just gonna make things easier for them. Yeah, I can't name a single ult on their team that's useless. Like all of them are just so good. You have the top Kench ult for making roams around the map. You have the Senna ult, which is global. You have the Orianna ult, and if you mix that with Ornn and Sejuani, it's just insane. You know, the Shockwave, Glacial Prism, Horn. It's just an insane combo.
Yeah, and that dive in definitely helped that Sejuani continue to get a lead up and farm there, and keeping that Orianna in farm too, forcing that Annie out because, well, Annie's kind of screwed here. The ball beats Annie, so not much happening. But Cassiopeia might be looking to come down there. Warning ping's coming out, but a little too late here. Cass is gonna run over there. The shield coming out says Sejuani is nearby just for some added defense, but that might have been a mistake here. Ornn's coming in the back line, launching it, hitting two of them in the process, doing the damage and keeping them off. Ooh, the charge coming in, but the ult's coming out from Orianna. It doesn't mean much for Annie, who is going to die to Ornn. The ult coming out from Sejuani, landing on top of Cassiopeia. Orianna staying too close by. Ornn's not that tanky, as we have another player coming out from the ONU. As Senna comes up, trying to defend the other two. It's going to be a 1-for-1 in that trade there. Both mid laners going down, and it looks like both top laners going to leave with that kill, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that old fight was a new challenger approaches. Cassio, Ornn, Senna. Now, Cassio's going to be invading Sejuani, but she does have the Senna there, so could be a mistake coming out from Cassio. She's not going to have time to pick up the blue bud. Yeah, just going to come in there. Smite, going to get some health back, but going to get picked up by Lee Sin, who is on the sidelines. A little bit of mistake from Sejuani. Didn't have the Senna nearby, so
yeah, had that hope coming out for, but unfortunately, Senna's not fast enough to keep up, especially with the Lee Sin being nearby. And it looks like the TP coming out from Senna here to come and catch up with the lane. Solid damage out. That Q just absolutely wrecking shop. It's extremely powerful.
Yeah, Senna damage is pretty strong, and she's going for lethality here. So, quite a bit of damage that I can foresee in the future. I mean, as I said, just ONU have such a strong comp, and they're not really that behind right now. I mean, they're a kill down, but a dragon up, and they're just playing the early game, safe. I mean, Ornn's been doing fine into Cassiopeia now that he has the Negatron cloak and a little bit of health on.
Yeah, and mind you, it's still 9 minutes here, so we're gonna be looking towards that late game, especially for that Ornn and that Senna, because both just get stronger as time goes on. 3 members top here, looking to collapse on top of that Cassiopeia. The ult coming out as the charge misses, and Oriana's gonna pick that kill up, especially that ult coming out from Senna. Annie's looking to come down here into bot lane after that ult was wasted, but those tower stacks are definitely coming in handy for the 3 members of the team. Take back out. Annie's going in for the deep back there, coming in from behind. All popping off by Vayne here, who's gonna dive in. Flash coming out from Senna, but the ulti coming out from Annie, and Tahm Kench is gonna keep her safe as they're just gonna pick up some gold. Multiple ults wasted there, but everyone's kind of fine in the end. A worthwhile try from the side of the Akorns here, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough, especially with the mobility of Tahm Kench being able to take his laner out of the lane there.
I think Annie took more damage than Senna did, taking some turret shots. But yeah, they had the whole squad up there for Cassiopeia. They blew every ult except Ornn ultimate. Yeah,
they burned Senna ult, Ori ult,
the whole game.
Yeah.
So able to pick up the early kill, which is really good for them. I mean, as I said, I want to see ONU playing safe, wait until mid game, so any kills that they get is just like an added bonus to their very strong.
Yeah, meanwhile, 3 members here looking for that Tahm Kench. Lee Sin just coming in for support there, as Tahm Kench is not letting up on that team. Nothing's gonna come out of it though. Real shame. I love to see Lee Sin just balancing between players here, and it's absolutely crazy. And as we just wait here, looks like everyone's starting to reset. Got that dragon coming up in about 15 seconds here as that ocean drake. So we'll be looking for a mountain or infernal soul here for this match. Infernal soul just good for anyone all around, honestly. But that mountain soul's definitely gonna make ONU's tanky members even tankier, while giving a little bit of frontline to the side of the Akorns here, who don't really have any frontline.
Yeah, I think that Dragons is gonna be pivotal for Akorns, but if ONU pick it up, it's game probably. I mean, how do you kill an Ornn with Mountain Soul? And they're just rushing right over that dragon. They're not wasting any time. They have the advantage. Cassiopeia isn't even there yet, but they have the big man himself.
Oh yeah, not even a single contest happening from the team, but all 5 members want this tower down here. They have the Rift Herald as well, so they're going to be looking for that bot lane here. But instead, it looks like Ornn's going to be backing up, heading back up top. Sejuani keeping an eye on that Lee Sin. Oriana looking a bit stuck there. Bit of a risky move coming out with the ultimate coming out from Annie. The kick landing on top of Oriana. The ult coming out as well. The ulti popping off, and unfortunately, the flash is going to do it. And Lee Sin's going to pick up that kill. Ooh, Annie just merely dodging that Sejuani ultimate. Sejuani's got to back that up. Unfortunately, no kill coming out for the side of ONU, but definitely a dragon though.
Yeah, that's going to be the X-Smith he pulled away from the ultimate by a couple inches. It happens, honestly, to everybody, but yeah, Annie's just going to get out there. But that was super greedy from Oriana, you know, like, she was like, I can take an Annie ult. You know, it's one. Nope.
No one can take an Annie ult.
But Ornn showing his dominance in this lane, but as soon as he tries to run away, Cassiopeia gets those fangs to Ornn. So that's one of the problems about facing Cassiopeia. You think you have a good trade, but as soon as you start to walk away, it's just bullets running at you. Gonna find the back, but maybe that was a critical mistake because Sejuani is here with the Rift Herald, probably gonna pick up top lane turret before 14 minutes, so also going to grab those plates as well. That's super good for the side of ONU.
Yeah, Annie's looking up there to possibly contest. Sejuani is going to run into her. Don't know if she knows she's there yet. That tower is going to be going down. That's first tower. Objective-focused ONU over here. Getting those drakes, getting that rift. Ooh, but Sejuani diving in, having that Orion nearby. Is going to land the smite on top there. The ult coming out from Orion doing serious damage. Sejuani is going to get kicked away, but not before taking down that Annie, and Oriana's going to be diving in, getting top that Lee Sin. Meanwhile, happening down, the Ornn ulti's going to land on top. Sejuani's got the back away with the serious damage. Oriana still taking even more damage here as the Vayne just is not letting up, but she's gonna die after taking down that Oriana here. Morgana landing on top of the ult, doing some serious damage to that Sejuani, but she's all alone. She has no help, and Senna is here. Meanwhile, that ult landing on top here, landing on top of Cassiopeia, and she has no teammate either, and that's gonna be a double kill for Senna. Once again, a new challenger approaches, and another one falls.
I mean, that was a pretty even team fight. I mean, each side lost about the same amount of members, but Tom Kench doing work on that bot lane turret, gonna pick it up. So ONU, although they didn't like necessarily win the team fight, they won like the war at the moment.
Oh yeah, they won the war and they're back up in kills, and they are also holding, since that second tower, they're holding the gold lead now as well, as mid lane starts to pick up here, and that double kill also going to help Senna as well. It's absolutely insane here. They're just slowly stacking up. They're prepping and getting ready here.
I'm surprised Tom Kench got a Tiamat. I usually don't see that. That's interesting. It's
Yeah,
also
definitely
funny.
interesting
Is
one
that
as well.
a thing that have you ever seen a Tom Kench support go Tiamat? That never seen that.
Not with Senna. I don't see it very
Also
often.
building the Sunfire cape, you know, maybe copying Ornn a little bit too much. Even though he doesn't have a Sunfire cape items.
Quite possibly. Well, he does now. He has that chain vest going on, and he has the Balmy Cinder. That Tiamat, though, probably just coming out for the extra damage, especially when clearing out lanes. Definitely gonna help out him. Oriana getting that blue buff, gonna help her in lane keep up with this Annie, even though she does hold that farm lead over top of her. And we just hit the 1 minute mark for that Infernal Soul, by the way. Definitely gonna be something to contest over for both sides. Because that's strong no matter who has it.
Yeah, but that Cloud Drake that Owen you picked up earlier, gonna make sure that everybody on their team has their ultimates up. And as I said before, that's a game changer. Look, not even always gonna find the Shockwave on the Annie, and that's gonna be an easy pickup from Sejuani. But nearly finding Lee Sin, gonna be chunked, and I feel like that's probably gonna be ONU's Dragon. I mean, what are they really gonna do? Oh, Ornn finding the kill on the Lee Sin with the snipe, also gonna pick up Cassiopeia, diving right under their turret.
Ooh, Sejuani not holding any bans, definitely bloodthirsty for that fight. But they were trying to collapse on top of Oriana there, but Annie stepped too far forward up and got caught up by Sejuani. And it just kind of fell from there. They have the superior ult abilities and they have the front line. And so, while the strong suit for the Akorns here would definitely be for picks, they're just not finding any, and that they don't even need all the members. They're splitting up here between Rift and that Drake, and that is most likely going to be that Drake down there for the side of ONU. Lee Sin looking too far away. We're just keep an eye on top of this Rift, because while that Drake is definitely assured here, as we see it right now, that Rift Herald is still open for the Akorns to try to steal, but it does not look like they're going to be able to.
Yeah, I really like that play that they made, sending 2 members Rift Herald and 2 members of Dragon. They're just taking no risks this game, and they're getting all the objectives they can and leaving, just leaving the Akorns out to dry. I mean, they really haven't gotten anything. Not a single turret, not a single objective. I mean, they've gotten kills, but at what cost? I mean, definitely showing the better team play on the side of ONU. They have just been grouping and positioning so well.
Oh yeah, definitely. While ONU were getting those objective comps, they might have been losing earlier on in kills, but as the members keep getting stronger and tankier, it's just a matter of time, and they have switched up the face, and it's already starting looking in the favor of ONU here for the win, but we can't say for sure. But what we do know is that they have the tower, they have the dragon, they have the golden kill advantage right now. It's going to take a pretty good team fight coming up from the side of ONU here to kick it off. We might see that here with the Vayne launching that ultimate, trying to get some solid damage on top of that Senna. She's completely avoiding that Tom Kench here, as he's going to start picking away at that Morgana, or he's not going to be falling down alone, as Annie's picking off that first kill. She's going to get that second one, and Tibbers just knows where Sejuani is and is hungry, taking that solid damage. Members of the Akorns are going to pop back here so they don't get caught out. Tibbers just kind of going on his own here. There we go. He went away.
I felt bad for Senna. I mean, she saw him in the bush and said, "Oh shit," and then flashed, and then went, "Oh no," flashed into someone else. So
Yeah, but meanwhile here, Sejuani definitely feeling greedy to get that blue buff, doing some solid damage onto that Lee Sin, but she's gonna just dive in the backline there, straight for that Annie. Meanwhile, picking off that shutdown gold for Oriana. That's kind of the chase going on here. Is Sejuani gonna be fast enough? She's waiting for that Q, flashing the mastery and taunting. She knows she's gonna get away. She knows she's fine. She's gonna pop out of there with some a solid kill to her name, but Vayne's also gonna get away with some shutdown gold. Definitely good for that strong Vayne play here. And it's just a matter of time seeing, like, is she gonna be strong enough to 5v1? Well, 1v5.
it wasn't even a mastery 5, 6, or 7. It was a mastery 4. So that's ultimate BM. It means that you don't even play that champion that much. You're just flexing on him.
It's just yeah, it's just the base BM.
No, I really want to see ONU grouping more. I feel like that bot lane play was a little ill-advised. I don't even think they should have been in the side lane. They should just stay mid and make sure that they have options and vision all over the map. But it looks like they're not making that mistake again. You know, going to send Tom Punch set of mid lane. Make sure that they don't get caught out by any surprises anymore.
Once again, more taunts coming out from the side of Sejuani here. She's feeling confident. She's 5-2. She has a right to feel confident. Meanwhile, all members are going to clean up here, and we're looking for possibly a fight for Baron, as it is sitting and waiting here. Everyone's just cleaning out vision as we speak. Waves getting cleaned up in the mid lane. All members of ONU are waiting in that mid lane, and the members of Akorns are definitely showing up to follow. Ooh, solid Q coming out there on top of the Cassiopeia.
Ooh.
It's just kind of a waiting moment. We don't know what the fight's gonna happen here. Q landing on top of that Ornn, but it's not gonna mean much. Meanwhile, ooh, that Rift's getting summoned, and they're definitely gonna force down this tower here. Possibly a fight coming out. The ult coming on top of the Cassiopeia, and that secondary ult landing on top of that Vayne. The tower's gonna go down as Sirius ult's coming out from the side of ONU. Meanwhile, the Rift is gonna fall, and Annie's gonna pop in with that flash. Is gonna take down with that Tibbers. Meanwhile, Oriana forces getting released way too early for Tom Kench here, and Vayne is just gonna pop down that Ornn like it's nothing. And she, meanwhile, still has that ult up, but she's gonna be running it down. All members are chasing it down, and that's gonna be a slay on to Senna there from Cassiopeia, landing that solid damage. They still have all 5 members up. While they got the tower, they lost the war, and they're gonna be going straight for that Baron.
Yeah, and they just put 3 wards down in that bush, make sure that they have all sides in that little quadrant of the map. But they're likely going to be picking up Baron here. No one really contested Sejuani. In the area, though, could look for a steal, doesn't have the flash. That's also going to be the black shield being used, and the Cassio W also being thrown. So Sejuani, you know, not going to take any chances. They did spot her out on those 3 wards, though, so... you know, they knew exactly where Sejuani was, and they're just going to be pushing. But, yeah, I mean, as soon as Ornn goes down, they can just rush in at them and find as much damage as they can. So they really, on the side of ONU, I just want to see them, you know, play more coordinated and make sure that they're not using the ults aggressively, because they don't need to. They don't need to find a fight. They just need to keep getting these objectives.
Yeah, but meanwhile here, looks like Cassiopeia's gonna get cut out. The Black Shield's falling down. That's 5 members getting the shutdown gold here on top of Cassiopeia. That was just a shame. She got caught out. She was doing some solid damage here too. But that's both Baron and an Infernal Drake for the side of the Akorns, who aren't looking too shabby as they are quickly catching up in the gold race here. But still sitting about 1k down after that shutdown gold.
Not too shabby. Shout out.
Shout out to Not Too Shabby, who I know you're watching. There's the face. Thank you, thank you. Meanwhile, the ult coming up from Warren. Yeah,
Like,
looking for that Vayne. But meanwhile, in the backline here, Morgana's gonna find that Senna, and Oriana's gonna find that Annie, but the fight continues as Lee Sin's diving on the top of that Ornn. Looks like Tom Kench is getting caught out as well. Ornn's also getting caught out. It's gonna be 3 versus 1 here. Sejuani's running for her life. But Cassiopeia pops up on the side, grinding top of that Sejuani. She's not gonna have enough to sustain here to hold it out. Cassiopeia's gonna shut it down. And that's just a solid ace for the side of the Akorns here, who are definitely looking well after some bad mid-game fights here.
Yeah, I think ONU need to have better vision on their on their blind spots because Annie keeps finding these flanks and picking off important members, which leaves ONU defenseless. And also, they're playing with Ornn up quite a bit, so they're able to find picks as well. I mean, Vayne doing that percent health damage is really efficient against Ornn, who just has so many tank stats. So it's good to burn through. But I think ONU still have a pretty good chance in this game, but Akorns, they're just crawling their way back.
Oh yeah,
Very
ONU's gonna definitely have to sit down and reassess real quick. They need to be looking for a group team fight together. They're tankier and strong. But meanwhile, they're just cleaning up vision here after some hard losses. The gold lead's strongly going in favor of Akorns here now, who have that slight kill lead now after getting so many shutdowns. And that single Drake as well. But ONU still just needs one Infernal Drake here, which is about a 2-minute and 30-second wait here as of just a couple seconds ago. Meanwhile, they're clearing out that top jungle there. Playing a little bit risky on the side of Sejuani. She doesn't have much in the way of a teammate super nearby. Can get kicked out easily. Orianna gonna be caught out there. Sejuani's diving in with the ultimate. Doesn't mean much. Ult's still gonna be popped up by Orianna, and in the end, Cassiopeia is gonna be making out just fine. Meanwhile, solid damage landing on top of that Sen, who's gonna be dying. Vayne is gonna pick up that Ornn, and once again, Sejuani is left all alone, but she has Tahm Kench just for some backup. Once again, a bad team fight picked out here by ONU, and that's just all they need to start shoving down that mid lane after all the towers are gone here.
I mean, let's be honest. Was that really a team fight from ONU? I don't feel like it was. I feel like that was just them being way too aggressive. And again, all they have to do is just group, put vision down, and wait for the next objectives. But instead, they're playing greedy when they shouldn't be. They're getting caught out. They're getting caught out by these flanks. They should just, when you have a team that's as simplistic as Ornn, Sejuani, Orianna, I mean, you should, they don't really have insane outplay potential. They just have to play, decisively and take good team fights where they have the number advantage and get objectives. But instead, they're fighting the Akorns, who have this super, skill-expressive team that have all these dashes and ducks and insane damage output. So they're getting quite outplayed in this late game, so well played the Akorns, but also shame on ONU.
Yeah, we definitely want to see.
They're doing so well.
Yeah, they were doing very well. They just need to group up and definitely team fight well. But it looks like they might have been listening to what you were saying. They about 40 seconds left on the Infernal Drake here. They're looking for that soul, but the warning pings are coming out because they know that they're trapped in that river and they don't want to mess around with that. And meanwhile, about 30 seconds left on Infernal Drake. They want that soul. They need that soul to be winning those good team fights. Cassiopeia is getting caught out alone here. Has that black shield though. She's not going to get stunned. The ult coming out from Sejuani on top of Vayne here. Who's going to be popping that ult and chasing after that? Sejuani, no target. Sejuani having to run away. Tahm Kench remaining in the front line here. They're going to be losing that pressure they had in the mid lane here. But meanwhile, Tahm Kench is going to get picked out here, just barely popping that off. Ult's coming out left and right from the side of ONU, defending on top of that team there. Members are looking low, but members in ONU are looking worse for wear.
Ornn's coming in for the flank, got the TP. Now walking up, will they be able to secure the dragon? I mean, Sejuani does have a few, could jump over, but not going to find the steal, no vision. That's going to be another dragon going to Akorns. I'm surprised they're even getting these off. I mean, where was Ornn? It's top lane pushing. I would have just been there.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's once again, they're just not grouping up. They're not sticking together.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were ghosting the stream and taking my advice, but looks like they aren't. Good, they shouldn't be ghosting the stream, but
Baron's gonna be popping up though, and both teams really want to focus on that here. Cassiopeia looking towards that bot lane. She feels like her team is strong enough to be able to take that alone. So it looks like it's gonna work out just fine there. Cleaning out the jungle here so no one gets anything. But meanwhile, members are just kind of spread out on the side of ONU here when it's a full 4-man group for the side of the Akorns here. Looking for that Baron. They don't really have a contesting, but meanwhile Cassiopeia is alone in the bot lane and she's quite fast. Lots of dancing around happening from ONU here. They
Yeah,
have no one sending down to that Cass. So she might just get that tower here.
Yeah, Cassiopeia is super strong right now with 3 items. I mean, she just hurts so much. And she has the TP if they want to fight. But that's going to be ONU starting up the Baron, you know, being decisive. That's what I like to see. They're grouped up in a good place. They have all 5 members there, so they're already, you know, taking my advice. Cassiopeia going to TP, and they're just going to jump off.
Yeah, the whiff of the ult happening from Sejuani here, but Cassiopeia's going to be popping off on the side. And she's going to be taking down that center, but meanwhile, Tom Kench is quite low, but staying in the front. Orin also trapped up front there as well. The ult coming out from the side of Sejuani.
Oh, big shockwave!
Yes, coming out from the side of Oriana here. Sorry about that. Getting a double kill here. Sejuani's going to be diving in, getting on top of that Annie. Meanwhile, Tom Kench is just taking shot after shot here. And he's going to fall down to that constant poke of that Vayne here. And it's just going to be Oriana left. Definitely a strong coming out here from ONU during that last fight. They definitely were able to pick them off in that tight corridor. But they ended up losing that fight, but it just looks like that Akorns are going to be going straight for that Baron again.
If Oriana didn't land that ultimate, that easily could have been game, but well played. You know, going even at best, you know, on the side of ONU.
Yeah,
And,
they got a lot of shutdowns. They got that shutdown on Cassiopeia too.
They really just need to kill Vayne at this point. Kill Vayne and Cassiopeia, and you got a really good chance of pushing into their base. I mean, like, they got all those outside turrets and dragons pre 25 minutes, but so far they haven't been able to crack the base. They haven't been able to get a Baron. They haven't been able to get Dragon Souls. So they just need to close this game out, and they're getting close to closing, but just haven't been able to.
Yeah, another team really committed to fully closing it. Members are still being left alive. Vision is getting down at the Dragon though, even though it has about 2 minutes left to spare here. Meanwhile, everyone's kind of grouping up towards mid. They're ready for that fight. ONU is getting grouped up here. They have their ultimates ready from last time. Definitely good for them. They have a very low cooldown on those ults, especially for their side.
Yeah, I mean, the move here is just burst Vayne as soon as you see her. I mean, if Oriana, she has the flash up, honestly, look for the shockwave onto Vayne and then commit all your resources into that corridor, you know, just tunnel vision, I guess, and hope that Annie doesn't have ultimate. So, you know, could be good, but yeah, picking out Vayne is super important right now. She has the QSS, the Black Shield, so any lockdown under her is pretty good.
But Sejuani getting caught out here on the side. She's gonna have to dash away, but meanwhile, Annie's just gonna pop that Sun in the back line here. Orin's launching top of that all with the ultimate coming out from Sejuani here. Tumor is going down. Ooh, that solid shockwave coming out from the side. Oh, down one of the members of Lee Sin. Meanwhile, Sejuani jumped a little too far, maybe biting off too much that she could chew. That's Sterix here just gonna pop for her, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough. She's gonna be falling down here. Actually, sorry, that was Gargoyles, not Sterix. But that's still a 2-1 match here for the side of the Akorns, and they have that pressure after taking down that Sejuani to get this Baron here. Especially with Drake coming up in about 20 minutes here, they might even be able to go down there and get that one too.
I mean, Sejuani put the whole steak in her mouth at that team fight. I mean, jumping forward with no Orialt or Senna, I mean, I'm not really sure what she expected. Also, the Cassiopeia able to throw down the W and just lock the rest of the team off, so not able to find the engages she wanted to. But again, just like, you know, Annie finds another pick, and then ONU are again at a disadvantage. This Senna, you know, having a hard time staying alive. I think Tom Kent should just always just be like right there instantly, make sure that this Senna can stay alive. But we're getting bursted down so quickly with that percent health damage coming out from Cassiopeia and Vayne. That's going to be Annie picking up the kill, and this Dragon, you know, could be another one going the side of Akorns, but here's Sejuani. Not going to look for the steal, and it's currently 3 dragons to 3.
Yeah, we are at match point for both teams for that soul. We're at a 33-minute game. It's not looking good for the side of ONU here, who are currently behind about 6k gold going on, which is definitely not good for them. They're down the Baron. They missed the chance for Infernal Soul again. What I found interesting is Sejuani has Q, she has Flash, and she has Smite. I'm surprised she didn't dive for that.
I would have I mean, she's already sacrificed for less I would have
Yeah.
just went for it. I would have just flashed in there. Or queued in there at least.
It's
And
a
if you
real
get-
shame here.
Get knocked over the wall, flash in there. I mean, you got options.
Oh yeah.
But real shame.
Yeah.
That they haven't been able to get anything. I think they have their kills went up by much. I think like they find like 1 or 2 every fight, but it's mainly Oriana Shockwaves. And so far I've just been seeing Ornn and Sejuani, you know, like they're tanks, but at this point in the game against a Vayne with that many items, they're not like really tanks, so they can't really be playing as ballsy as they are. I mean, look at that Cassio damage, you know, chunking Kench quite a bit, so they really have to be careful. And at this point, you can't just rely on your stats to keep you alive. You have to rely on good positioning, instincts, making sure that the waves are managed. You know, that kind of
we're
stuff.
looking here. The only magic resist that this Tahm Kench has is that adaptive helm, which is definitely surprising. Yes, you want that damage to block out from the Vayne, but like so much of that, so much of the Akorns team comp here is definitely magic damage. But meanwhile, in the top lane, Cassiopeia completely left alone. Ooh, it's going to be getting that top tower here. Forcing away that Tahm Kench, that Vayne is going to be taking down that inhib. Meanwhile, they're still leaving Cassiopeia alone up there, trying to defend this lone inhib here. But unfortunately, yeah, one more shot from the tank is not going to do it. But meanwhile, the ult landing on top of that Ornn, completely missing. The Ornn missing also that ult as well, as the Vayne is looking not too peachy keen. But meanwhile here, Vayne is too far forward. It's definitely taking, not Vayne, just taking too much damage here. Cassiopeia is going to be picking out the back line there, completely left alone once again. She's not tanky enough to survive that. Sejuani just barely running away. Vayne absolutely taking tower shots to dive in. That's a 5 for none. That's an ace, and that's gonna be the game for the Akorns here.
Yeah, Acorn stocking up for the winner. They're gonna be packing this one up and sending us off into end screen. Yeah, big win, and surprised that they really didn't look too good in the first 25 minutes, but they just completely brought it back. So yeah, GG, well played.
Yeah, solid damage coming out here from the side of the Akorns, who, while you're feeling a bit rough in that mid lane, then what should have been a game for ONU with the champions, just all that skill coming out from the side of the Akorns could pick it off. And as we are looking at the damage charts here, and you guys are just seeing that just a couple seconds ago, we have Cassiopeia with the most damage, and Vayne just barely topping out against that Oriana here. But probably for the MVP match, I will give it to that Cassiopeia. She was strong and she held her ground, definitely, and was able to pick off kills and pop out from the side. And when she knew her team did not need her to stay around, she would just go and take down towers on the side.
Well, actually, I'm gonna argue that, and I want to say that it was the Vayne and the Morgue, because they played incredibly well, given that that the Senna Tahm Kench matchup, it wasn't like super good for them early, but you know, Vayne did her job, shredded all of the tanks that game, and the Morgana made sure that she was able to stay alive in almost every single team fight. So that was really what the turning point was for me. It was like the Vayne Morgue and the Cassio as well in some of the team fights, but I feel like Vayne Morgue really brought the game, you know, back into their hands. But anyways, that is going to be the end of game 1 today, but stick around, because
down in Illinois, I won't be around. Yeah, I won't be around here, but you guys are gonna be picking up with Rich Red, and Dave is gonna be here too. We're gonna be going over to Illinois here for a match versus What If We Kiss in the Alcove versus the Bradley Hilltop Giants, and we'll see you guys in just a couple minutes here.
all that energy.
Welcome, everybody, as we are here today after some lovely League of Legends that we just saw a moment ago. But we're going to get this off today. I am Rich Rad here with my amazing co-caster, Dave, who we had earlier. And we're going to see Bradley Hilltop Giants versus Loyola. What if we kissed in the alcove? How you doing today, Dave?
I'm doing pretty good, but, you know, I'm wondering, Rich Rad, what if we kiss in the alcove? You know?
I mean, I'm pretty sure with everything going on, social distancing, we would not be listening to the authorities, so I would highly recommend against that at the current moment. But without further ado, we're going to see these bands coming in here from both sides. Already have 2-2 out Thresh. It also is going to be Senna and Misfortune with a Kled. And I'm looking for that last third and final ban here coming out from Bradley. Let's see what it's going to be. What do you think? What do you think they're going to do today? We've already actually been able to see Loyola, what if we kiss in the alcove twice. You and I have both casted a game from them, so we have seen some experience from this team.
Last time that I saw What If We Kiss in the Alcove play, I remember seeing a lot of very aggressive early mid-game play, although they weren't able to close out the game. And the game that I saw, they had some really good early game play, so that's what I'm looking for again. I think they want to push these early advantages and then go into the mid-game like looking strong. And I think, well, I casted them like weeks back, but I think if they have cleaned up their macro play and positioning, they could be looking at a win today.
I would actually agree with that because I had the chance to cast them last week. So there's been some time between your initial cast with them and then the one I had the week prior with Mercenary. And you did see a lot more of that macro play carried into the later game, competing against Bonzi Chiefs last week, and now going to try and take Bradley University as well. And it looks like we've already got a Morgana pick, which last week was actually banned away from him. So I'm liking to see Pegleg come out and select that for this because I feel it's a more favorable pick for the side of Loyola, as Caitlyn's going to be that working bottom laner with the Morgana.
Yeah, that is such a strong bot lane matchup. Caitlyn Morg, probably one of the most aggressive bot lanes in the game, right under MF Leona, but MF's banned, so I mean, I'm curious what they're going to pick. I mean, Zyra Khan is still up, but I'm expecting What If We Kiss in the Alcove to be banning out like strong bot lane picks so that they don't get countered. And that Morgana is going to be really good in the Galio, who tries to find these big team fight taunts. So if she's able to keep Caitlyn alive, and that's going to be super beneficial for them.
And to build off what you mentioned about trying to ban towards that bot lane, I feel very strongly with that opinion because honestly, this Mordekaiser play that we've seen from Pegleg in the week prior was absolutely stellar. Just knocking it out of the park, having a great compete against the Ornn that we saw last week and just really snowballing into that late game. So I would not be surprised if they drew attention away from that top to mid lane, hyper-focused on the bot lane to secure the Caitlyn-Morgana combination, as at least the now bans start to come out. Ophelio is actually going to be banned along with a Warwick. Haven't seen too much ban on the Warwick from just at least my observation in recent casts, but the Lux I have seen slightly.
Yeah, Warwick, just overall a very annoying jungler to deal with. He just has insane early game potential where he runs into your lane at Mach 5 if you're even just a little bit low on health, and then he taunts you to death, and it's super annoying to deal with, so I can see why they would ban it out, because it is just a lot to deal with, as well as the Wukong, which got picked up by Chili Cheese. We haven't really talked about it yet, but Wukong got a new rework this patch. It is just insane. Wukong gets so many resistances from his passive. He's able to get 2 knockups with his clone on his ultimate, 3 potentially if he plays it right. So if Chili Cheese knows what he's doing and he's able to monkey around, but in the right ways, that could take over the entire game. So I think What If We Kiss needs to control top lane.
I only laugh because you spun in monkey around in that ironic statement about Wukong. Just gonna throw that out there. I mean, I have to. It's you know, it is.
I'm a color, you know.
I mean, as we see now, the DPS, the bot lane coming out here with the Ashe play to be working well with the Galio as a, you know, just honestly having just great crown control. You've got Rumble with the equalizer, Wukong for some nice stun as well. there's really a lot to work with for this team fight here for Bradley. While Loyola is still going to focus on, you know, a team fight of their own, but I'm also going to make a comment too. Momo playing this Syndra is a scary, scary mid lane. It was against a LeBlanc last time, and the jukes were real, and the coordination of the stun drop combination of the orb was so critical to play. And going into this, I'm really interested to see how Bradley specifically is going to try and handle this mid lane and the top lane.
Now the question is, who is the mid lane and the top lane for Bradley? Because we have the Scion, and we have the it looks like it's going to be Wukong jungle. As champions are being traded around, that's going to be Wukong jungle being played by Truck Chan. I haven't really seen too much of the new Wukong yet played in the jungle. I've mainly seen it mid and top lane, but Wukong definitely has some potential in the jungle. His clone now has a little bit of a dash, so maybe that could be effective in finding some ganks. But honestly, I thought it was going to be played top lane. Wukong into Mordekaiser. When Mordekaiser ults, maybe you pop your clone and he ults the wrong person. So it's happened to me before, and it is truly tilting, but he can do the same in the jungle. Anyways, with that, we're going to be getting into a little bit of an ad break, but don't miss it. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Hello, everybody, as we are now getting this game underway. Loyola, What If I Kissed in an Alcove versus Bradley, Hilltop University, as we will see these two go at it. And again, I was at least looking to see what is going to happen between that mid and top lane. But I know you were mentioning kind of about that jungle selection here, and it is going to be the Wukong coming out for jungle by Truck.
Now, here's something interesting. We're seeing the entire team, almost the entire team on the side of What If We Kiss in the Alcove. Running bot lane, they have that Morgana, and they're ready to play dirty and maybe look for an invade. But it looks like right now they're sitting in the bush waiting for the counter invade. But honestly, I would like to see them play more aggressive and look for the invade. I feel like they're so much stronger with the Caitlyn Morg Jarvan combo.
Yeah, honestly, we've seen that a couple of times too. There's been some really serious action happening whenever that does come into play. As we do start to go into the... Well, actually, you're going to see Wukong look to try and ward that counter blue, just so they have vision of where that jungling positioning is, which is of great use to them, as
Yeah,
it will be a few...
Pretty good.
But nothing too out of the ordinary. Team's going to help out that bot lane here for Loyola to make sure that the German has a nice start into the jungle. And the other part, too, is a Scion going into the Mordekaiser. I feel that the Scion still has a very worthy opportunity of competing against this Mordekaiser, but it's really just going to be, I think, the skill by Pegleg that's going to allow an opportunity to counter against that Scion.
Yeah, into Scion, Mordekaiser just bullies him out completely, but after Scion gets a little bit of his passive grasp stacks, gets a little bit more HP, it's going to be harder for Mordekaiser to really like bully him in that mid to late game, but early game it's definitely Pegleg favored.
In the mid lane, you've got this Rumble again, an interesting selection. That melee champ going to really have to manage that overheat dynamic from the Rumble to try and compete against Momo, because Momo does have such a range opportunity of really just poking and forcing Rumble back consistently in this mid lane. There's a nice lockdown in the bot lane.
Yeah, and Syndra finding some good poke on the Rumble, as you were saying, finding some good trades, but, you know, the mana, it is ticking down. And, also, Truck-chan gonna spot out Skyco on that ward that he placed earlier, and, you know, that's gonna give them some really vital information where Jarvan is. So Scion knows that Jarvan is top lane, so might be backing off, but look like Wukong is content with just, you know, trading side pressure. And currently, What If We Kiss don't know where Wukong is, so he could jump out from anywhere, which is really vital. So he needs to make sure that he's not spotted out at all. But Jarvan,
and the top lane, yeah, at that flash being just used is a great opportunity. But back in mid lane, you've got Momo following up here onto Bobby, going to use the Ignite, trying to get the stun, and with the orb in the backside, forces the barrier even. That's a lot of summoners used, but Wukong gonna flash in, going for that dive, not managing to do so. And Skiko is here to give some support, allowing that Momo Syndra play to get out of the mid lane and reset. Nice job with that response and the rotation coming out from Skiko from that top to mid lane.
Yeah, you could tell that Truck-chan was just absolutely bloodthirsty. He said, kill, 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 and then it just went for it. So, you know, maybe a little bit more patience could have paid off for him, but he doesn't have the flash. This could be the lockdown coming in, but just going to eat at that crab. And here's Gallia looking for a collapse. Black Shield going to help Kaylin out, but going to find the trap on the Wukong. They didn't see it. That's going to be a double kill, likely going the way of What If We Kiss in the Alcove. An amazing collapse from every team member.
And again, that amount of damage and the crown control from the Syndra in the mid lane is just going to allow so much opportunity for this. A kill and an assist going into this, already having 1,000 gold to spend when going back to base at this point. It's such a great early opportunity, but in the top lane, you do see some compete. Pegleg trying to take down Chili. Both extremely low, with that health coming through and going to stabilize here. And Sion's going to have to play extremely careful in this top lane.
And during the little skirmish, Syndra picked up the kill, and that's going to be the blue buff transferred to her. So she's going to be extra strong in this lane. Doesn't even have to steal any camps from her jungler. So going to be sustaining a lot. Doesn't even have to back right now. Just shove another wave. And Rumble going to be losing out. That wave is going to crash.
Now, as you've got a few members here from Loyola returning, to spend all of that gold necessary. You still have Momo in the mid wanting to make sure to clean up that wave to get as maximum of a gold potential as possible. A decent buy going back to this, making sure to get that pot along with the lost chapter to really help kind of transition through this beginning phase. And I'm really liking how it's going to compete against this Rumble play. And you already see a 10 CS advantage as well, plus the kill and assist from Momo on the Syndra.
Yeah, this Syndra and Kaylin could easily take over the game. I mean, they're champions where once you get a couple items, you just are able to dominate so hard. And once Kaylin hits that 3-item spike, she is going to be, I think, untouchable unless Bradley find every single piece of CC that they can. But here's Wukong sitting in the bush looking for a gank mid.
Yeah, looking to potentially dive in onto Momo. Again, there is already a substantial lead for Momo, so this could be very critical. If you just have Bobby rotate to the side to force Momo closer to Truck, Truck's actually going to go in on this, forcing the clone, diving in. There's not really too much damage to follow up on it from Bobby, and at this point, Momo's in a good position just to get back, clear up that last minion, and start to push again towards this tower as the Wukong rotates down to the bot lane.
This could be the kill easily for Syndra, but that null magic shield. No, that's not what it's called. Oh no, whatever it's called, you know, it saved his life. But flash out from Mordekaiser, trying to get away from the Sun, but the Sun could easily pick up the kill here. Doesn't have the flash up, and that's going to be the kill going to Chili Cheese with the 3s.
Yeah, honestly, Chili Cheese played that very well. Here's a stun, though, with an orb in the back, getting that defensive shield active from Rumble play in the middle. Bobby barely surviving again and having to play so close to this tower, almost getting taken down again by an orb. Bobby just hyper aggressive going onto this tower and going to yield a lot of value as Skiko gets the scuttle, keeps the vision, most likely going to rotate this dragon and try and get this early win Drake.
Yeah, and I mean, in these first 7 minutes, we can see that Wukong just really isn't that strong in the jungle. You know, he doesn't have any CC before he hits level 6. His damage is okay, but I mean, it's not really to any benefit for his laners. So that's going to be, what if we kiss the elk of, like, taking advantage of that and picking up this early objective and also those 2 kills that we saw earlier.
Well, and to piggyback off of that, the opportunity that Wukong has is coming in when a fight has already begun. The fact that you've got Momo dominating this mid lane, Rumble can't really cause a distraction, allowing that clone to be thrown out as a decoy for Wukong to follow up, and same thing in top lane. Even though you do have an early kill for the Scion going against Pegleg, there's still not an opportunity for Wukong to find value in these trades.
Yeah, he's sort of just a sitting monkey. I was going to say duck, but that didn't seem appropriate. So, yeah, just a little bit of a sitting monkey in his jungle. Going to be farming up, but once he hits that level 6, I do see more potential games coming out from him. I mean, as I said, he can find a triple knockup if he plays it right, but he's looking top right now. Not spotted out quite yet, but that ward is going to spot him out.
Some decent damage coming through from Pegleg onto Chili Cheese. Has to rotate under the tower, but now Truck going to go in, dropping the decoy. Will not get close enough to Momo for a possible engage with the collapse from Bobby. Meanwhile, bot lane at this point, for the entirety of this whole beginning portion of the fight and of this game, has really only gained much value from that early engage. But now the dive coming in, Galio gets a huge stun. The Morgana shield not going to be enough. It collapse instantly, as I say. It's been some calm, collective play. You have a massive dive coming out from Bradley in this bot lane and exerting dominance over Loyola.
Yeah, the caster's curse happening again, but Ashe hit level 6 and she wasted no time. But this Syndra looking for an aggressive trade. That's going to be Wukong picking up the kill, but at what cost? That's going to be Momo picking up the kill on Bobby as well.
Yeah, I mean, the trade was there. The fact that Momo at least got the kill despite the Wukong coming from the flank is most important here. I mean, you can throw that kill away. You're already 2 up and an assist, so you're in a good spot with a 30 CS lead, by the way, for Momo over Bobby. So to maybe sacrifice that isn't the best and most ideal, but it's something that can be done in the grand scale of things.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm still really surprised that that Tanman and Cyrusis really lost that bot lane trade. I mean, Caitlyn Morg, one of the strongest lanes in the game, and they're not constantly pushing them up the turret. I feel like that should just be a given. They're just so strong, but it looks like they're playing back, maybe because of that lack of vision on Wukong, but he hasn't even shown bot yet, so it's stealing fear by not even being there. There's a strategy for Bradley.
And you've got Wukong taking that Rift Herald, so that's going to be very important to use to try and force these lanes back. Top lane already losing a plate. That's an extra 120 gold. But now the binding coming out from the Morgana, the stun through by Momo. But you have to be careful. That Wukong and Jarvan, though, is there. A lot relying in the mid lane. All the while, top lane Pegleg going to try and chase down Chili Cheese, getting a lot of damage. Will get a nice crown control from Chili and reset that top lane. Pegleg not able to find the follow-through.
And Momo is just taking over, currently 75 CS to 37. And let's check that gold. I mean, he is currently one gal, but Syndra going to steal the blue too, but at what cost? Could be Jarvan going down, going to get hit by the Crystal Arrow, and finding a big taunt from Galio. And the Equalizer going to come down as well, and that's going to be a double kill going to Galio. Caitlyn, shot coming in, going to be dodged.
And honestly, with that trade, the blue was there, yes, but it, like you said, at what cost? That was a lovely opportunity here for Drigo to get into that fight, finding the crown control, the stun, locking down a few members here from Loyola, so the remaining members of the team from Bobby can get the equalizer and really clean up, as there's a lot of attention in this mid lane with Rift Herald looking to take down a few plates.
Are they going to get the gold, though? I'm not sure if he's in range. And just walked back in range. Barely, so we're going to pick up 320. That is so big. This Wukong is easily getting right back into the game.
Top lane, though, Chili still staggering back and forth between this tower very well, drawing Pegleg in, but this is where you were talking about that early game for Sion, having the trades, getting the kill, but now Pegleg, as we carry into this level 8, level 9, and this just stack up of this itemization, Haunting, just really giving some extra ability power and some penetration onto that health value. This is where Sion has to play extremely careful because of all of those defensive items that are coming out. You've got Pegleg shredding through it.
Yeah, one of the big problems with Sion is that in the early game, if you don't have him under control, Sion can shove wave and then look for an ultimate to mid lane. He can just run down there real quick. But the problem is that Pegleg this entire game has just been pushing Chili Cheese in and making sure that he stays in the top lane. So yeah, just completely corralling Sion and making sure that he can't impact anywhere else on the map. But this is might be Morgana being caught out. Doesn't really have any options, but Jarvan's here, gonna lock up Wukong. That's gonna be
hesitant on the ultimate follow-up, going to get some great assistance in the mid lane. A lot going on here for Bradley to try and find composure. The Momo Syndra trying to get the chase, but you've got Sion going in for the charge, getting the Caitlyn, bringing her very low. The follow-through comes in by Dreegrove, and wants Skiko as Momo as well. But a stun comes through. Equalizer actually going to be thrown for that fight, not landing onto anybody. So I feel like that was kind of a wasted ult here, but now you've got 4 members in this mid lane just going to try and shove as Wukong goes back to try and buy.
I think the Equalizer maybe singed a little hairs on Jarvan, maybe. Because I think I saw like a little tiny burn for a second, some animation. But yeah, not really doing too much, but another really good collapse coming out from Bradley University, and I think one of the big big pivotal team fight changer has been those Ash Crystal Arrows. They've always found the right target, and it's gotten them 3 of the 7 kills, which is pretty good. And also the Wukong clone, you know, playing tricks on the mind of every member. But Jarvan gonna be jumping out of the pit. Is he gonna be able to grab the dragon? They both have smite. That's gonna be red team stealing the dragon, but you know, also gonna pick up the kill.
Trying to get the follow through. You've got now the Rumble. Bobby moving in for the second. That was absolutely critical to time that ultimate, but the long-range Caitlyn shot going to give some health to at least get rid of that support play. Too many following up. The Galio coming in, wanting the dive onto Tan, but not going to find it. The flash comes through over the wall as Tan Man survives, but still multiple members lost, as you have now Bradley sitting 10 over 5 worth of kills and a dragon to even the score. The gold cap here between both, really only about 1K slightly in favor of Bradley, but it's become very useful transitioning into this mid lane where Bradley is starting to take it slightly away from Loyola.
Yeah, that was an absolute win for Bradley, picking up the dragon and then 2 kills. If Caitlyn didn't, she didn't have her ace in the hole, I mean, that would have been 2 kills, a dragon for nothing. So, you know, well played the Bradley again, you know, spotting them out with that good vision around the dragon pit. I feel like that was a little bit greedy from What If We Kiss in that alcove. You know, Jarvan was really low. So, I mean, they are going to get punished for it, but I feel like they still definitely have their way in this game, and they haven't fallen off yet.
No, not at all. I mean, at this point, the key part is transitioning into this. I feel Loyola's going to really have to be aware of where Wukong is now that the stun is available and active. They've seen it used. It's causing a lot of problems for those longer engages, finding the critical members on Loyola to get the lockdown with a stun, just getting that chance for Ashe to start pumping out damage onto it. And as we take a look to bot lane, there's a lot of aggression towards this tower now that you've got the Morg roaming and the Caitlyn backing to take this turret down quickly.
Yeah, it sounds going to say cowards as he runs away. Cowardly. And that's, you know, that's one of the great things about Sion. You know,
Turret
he just
almost going
doesn't
to go
care.
down. Turret almost going to go down in that bot lane here too, but Tan Man now going to push forward. Morgana looking for a stun. Actually didn't get it. As they reset once again. Top lane going to be pushed though by the Mordekaiser. Again, Pegleg just, even though the kill is down, no kills or assists at all, really trying to focus the objective play here. But this bot lane is going to be very difficult for Loyola to try and survive through. You've got that potential dive now from the Galio, has to bail out of it and gets a turret shot too.
Ashe does have the crystal arrow up. Gonna throw the ace in the hole onto Caitlyn. Gonna get onto Ashe. Gonna get it a little bit low, but they're just gonna back off and most likely reset. But this Ashe is in a really good position. Currently 30 CS up, even in kills. So in a pretty good spot. Currently it's a little bit gold up, but yeah, this Ashe is gonna be really critical for Bradley University. If they're able to sort of like play around her and have the Galio and the Sion make sure that they can peel for her, once she gets a rune and hurricane and some items, she's gonna be a good spot. But that's gonna be nearly a solo kill going to Momo as mid, but not gonna find it. Here's Wukong ulting early, you know, has the second cast, gonna knock up Momo. She doesn't have the flash. It's gonna be a kill going to Truckshan, and Galio looking for the follow-up, not gonna find a knockup.
No, it's going to just come up late again. Like you said, the reset on that is available for the Wukong ever since that change. Now you've got the taunt coming in onto Skiko. Potential follow-up now that we've got Bobby near. But again, Bobby is super low and can't even risk being close because Tan Man approaching another ace in the hole could find some value if Bobby sticks around. But looks like he's going to back and not risk it.
Now, I will be honest, when I saw Wukong cast ultimate and cancel it, I thought he was trolling, but I completely forgot that the rework allows them to cast it twice. So then I was like, oh wait, that's big brain. So yeah, really well played the Truckshan. It looks like he's really been grinding those Wukong games out to really have this much knowledge. After this is only like the third day of the rework, so yeah, well played so far. Has almost, what is that, 9, 11? That's like 80% kill participation, 85%.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, the other part too is you've got a special place in your heart for Wukong, don't you?
I do. Yeah, in my early Wukong main days, you know, he's my first love. There's something about him.
Ooh, and if we take a look at the top lane, Pegleg now going to bring into the Death Realm. You've got the Sion trying to charge out. Chili Cheese doing everything possible to try and survive that 1v1. Manages to get close enough to the turret to evade that incoming damage. While Momo does a little bit of roaming here to the bot lane, going to try and apply some pressure on the turret. But all the while, Bradley now going to try and move to the top with the Ashe shredding that health value of Pegleg, getting a lot of damage. The Galio continuing to get pressure. The Flash obliterate out, barely surviving. And a great force out for that summoner as Momo returns to the mid lane.
Oh, this could be Rumble being caught out. Syndra does have the ultimate, gonna nearly take him out. But Rumble had the Zanyas. And here's Wukong, looking to see if he can clean up, but that's gonna be just ults and some items blown. So
great
nothing really
play.
coming.
Great play with that Zonias by Bobby. Again, still having that fire coming out in that frontal cone to deal damage while the Syndra played extremely overextended. Here comes the stun, managing to get it onto Truck, having to knock that back. The stun to knock up the Morgana, though, with Mord Pegleg diving in the backside. 5 versus Truck. And Truck wants to get some kind of value, doesn't manage to do so. The heal comes through, the dive in the back line by Skiko, jumping onto Bobby. The ace in the hole, getting the double. Now looking for the triple as that Galio comes into the back line, at least taking down Momo, but there is still a massive collapse as the Cataclysm comes through. Obliterate still available by Pegleg with a follow-up dive onto Drigo. Looking for the kill, manages to get the shutdown on the support, and the final kill to Ace, but the Sion charges in, getting one. Looking for the second onto the Morgana, trying to get Skiko in the backside as he is also very low. 2 versus 1. The Sion looking for the kill, wants it just as the Zonias comes out and gets the kill. The grasp is there. The chase under the turret, just gonna keep distance as you will have Skiko survive by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, and Chili Cheese says this is not your fight, and he picks off 3 members, and that could have been an easy drag for Wificus, and that sign came in super clutch, making sure. I mean, they all had low health bars, so it was kind of easy for him to just come in there, knock people up. 1v5, I believe. But yeah, this dragon being started up by Truck Chan and Neon Diamond. No one really around to stop them, so that's going to be their second dragon of the game. And Ocean Soul is going to be the one for this game, which is I don't want to see either team with Ocean Soul. That is nasty, but some cheeky scuttle steals coming out from Momo.
And now as we do, like you said, see that adjustment into the map here, you will look now. Let's just take a look at this. We've got about a 2K gold lead here for Bradley. Not a significant amount, but still a decent amount spread across the board here. You've got a great crowd control coming out. Lots of damage on the Galio, finding some pick damage. But as the majority of the team rotates towards this mid lane, focusing on this mid to late game fight potential as that tower is nearing to be taken down. That's going to open up a lot of opportunity once these first towers on either side go down.
Now, one thing I do want to talk about is gold distribution. Like Bradley, they're up in kills, but I mean, where are these kills? I mean, 4 of them are on Galio, and only a couple of them are on Ashe. So every lane looks about even, but it's mainly the Wukong is really strong. But here's the Galio engage.
And the Zonya is going to come out by the Morgana, trying to survive. The damage is too high, does get picked off. The turret will go down on the top because Pegleg still continues to press on as Momo survives barely from the impact from Chili Cheese. Wukong again going to bail out of this. There was a trade of a life, but worth the potential 2 turrets on this top lane, allowing Pegleg to move forward, but the rotation comes through. Bobby, along with Chili Cheese, collapsing onto Mord.
Yeah, he might have a peg leg, but he is not at a disadvantage. Gonna knock down this Rumble with some good damage. But here's Sion. Here's the big boy. Can he get out? Has the ultimate, can pick off whoever he wants. That's gonna be the ultimate coming out. Gonna dodge the Sion. Damage gonna say, you're trapped in here with me. Gonna chase him around. And this could easily be the kill. Picked up by Mordekaiser, but now there's 4 members here. He's getting deja vu. Wukong coming back up top. Nearly gonna find the kill in the Rumble, but barely gonna find it.
So close. That would have definitely been a clever play there. But again, you have to, like you said, watch out for that Scion. After death, that damage is still sufficient for members to compete with at that point, as mid lane still has a lot of pressure, though, by the Galio and Ashe wanting to take down that turret, since you had Bradley sacrifice theirs. At this point, the fact that mid is still up for Loyola is just a great testament to their defensive play and management of fights, as this 1v1 jungle action goes underway with Momo trying to get some assistance.
Crusader gonna come in, gonna nearly hit Jarvan. That's gonna be Wukong getting out. Had to expend the flash, so that's a really good summoner to blow, because when Wukong has flash, he can find engages where no one can even see him. He pops into his W, he goes invisible, and then flash E's. And looking for another engage here, has the ultimate, but he's just gonna get bursted down. But the Equalizer gonna be on top of everybody, and Sion coming in hot.
That is so much damage. The area is absolutely dominated by Bradley. Despite the Wukong sacrificing themselves in the back line, that stun allowing a equalizer drop from Bobby was so critical to change that fight around. Jarvan had already used the Cataclysm, did not have any way to separate the team or try and go hard on an individual in the back line. And now you see the snowball into this mid lane by Bradley, really taking down Loyola and using what time they have to get this advantage.
Now, Rich, I've seen a lot of animal documentaries, and I can tell you that monkeys do not travel alone. They always have their pack and family around them. So when they saw Wukong, what if we kissed, for like, we just got to kill him? But little did they know, Sion was there.
I mean, you did see
the Rumble was there. I mean, yeah.
I mean, you saw the Wukong come out of a bush, and you're just like, all right, it's probably just him. And bush
Easy
where the rest
pickings.
of the pack comes from. And how?
Yeah, I mean, what if you kissed? In a little bit of a predicament. I mean, like, they've gotten some objectives, but they're in this awkward limbo where there's nothing really to get right now. I mean, they got a whole minute until the dragon comes up. And these sort of, like, skirmish fights are really coming out of nowhere and aren't really leading to, like, too many objectives taken. So, I mean, they're cool to see, but this next Dragon Team fight is going to be really big, and I think Bradley are going to be people who want this the most, because that is going to take them to Soul Point.
Well, the other part of it that we also need to really focus on is you made a comment earlier about how critical that Ashe play is. Here comes actually the Wukong ult onto the back line, taking this all on their own, wanting the nuke of a damage output onto Tan Man with the Galio assisting. Looking for the stun. Momo going to take down Truck Chan as you have this Scion looking to potentially charge in. The teleport has been forced. The extra movement speed was there, but nobody actually going to go in on this. All three traps are there from Tan Man in the back. And with those extra bulbs on the ground for health orbs, this is now an opportunity with the jungler gone that Loyola can take this dragon away from Bradley.
Yeah, that was a really good pick for What If We Kiss. That Syndra does so much damage. Momo had the orbs down, but they could find... Bradley and Varsity could contest this. I mean, they do have Equalizer from Rumble. They do have the Sign of Ultimate. Looks like they're going to be jumping in. Gonna find a big taunt coming in from Galio. Gonna find people as well with the Equalizer, but I mean, Ashe currently trying to fight. Take him down. That's gonna be blue team picking up the dragon, but losing 2 of their members' lives.
I mean, so much changed from the start of that. You saw dominance coming out here from Loyola, positional advantage, numbers advantage, already getting dragon to half health, and then that massive 3-man taunt from the Galio completely changed it, and now Momo gonna be over. Comes out at this point, you are a sitting duck as you get an axe to the face with Tan Man gonna be delve on from Truck in the backside. Does get the kill. The double reset here for that ultimate, securing the stun. And despite the dragon loss, you have Bradley once again demonstrating how well they are playing with 10 kill dominance and a 5k gold almost lead over Loyola.
Yeah, it just looks like Bradley are just making these fights appear out of thin air. It's just like Wukong's there. Sion's ulting into your entire team, and like, what are you gonna do? And this Rumble has been finding really good follow-up. And also the Ashe. So their team comp kind of allows them to like find these like random team fight skirmishes that like they're usually fiestas, but they turn out very well for Bradley. So I think they want to party this game. They want to find these fiestas.
I just want the pinata. That's all I want. I just want to find the pinata and I want the candy. That's literally what I'm looking for when there's a fiesta. The stun on the side though going to come out here on the Scion. The other part is going into these fights. The Galio, I think, is something that you have to really pay attention to by Loyola, because if you have too many members of your team clustered together, that is going to be an instant turnaround, not only from the Galio, but from the Wukong area of effect stun. So you have to have more of a scattered, distant play with Loyola to try and survive from this engagement of Bradley.
Yeah, that would be a good time to practice social distancing. You know, keep 6 feet apart with all members. Make sure that you can't get knocked up by all these AoE effects that could infect you. So they should be taking example. I want to see some masks put on and make sure that these people are staying away from any potential hard AoE engages. But yeah, the dance around the Baron is beginning.
Galio gonna get found by the Morgana lockdown. Still gonna wait. The Crystal Arrow coming through, getting peg leg. The Galio dives in, but goes into the other realm. Pegleg trying to take down that support play. It is not going to be easy. There is still a decent amount of defensive. Pegleg out in the open all alone as Ashe is going to start pumping huge amounts of damage. The stun comes through. The reversal from Bradley taking out Pegleg. All the while, Chili Cheese on the front side harassing Momo, Tan Man, and Skiko away from the fight as Pegleg was so vulnerable after coming out of that death realm.
I mean, I would have been concerned if I was Pegleg in the Death Realm right now. You just see all these enemy balls floating around your character. You're like, what am I really supposed to do? But we see some low health bars on the side of Bradley, and I feel like What If We Kiss could probably contest this. I mean, they have Syndra, they have like good long distance pokes, so that's going to be them pressuring Bradley off the Baron and saving that fight for another day.
Yeah, there were all 3 ultimates here coming up from Skiko, Momo, and Tan Man. So I feel Bradley respected that very well. If Skiko found a great Cataclysm with that follow-through on Momo, that could have been devastating for Bradley, as you have entire team of Bradley back off, gonna reset, clear the jungle, and try and get ready for another attempt on this dragon, and possibly split attention between the dragon and the Baron.
Yeah, and it looks like they are clearing out some vision now. Bradley have been on point with their vision game, and one thing I want to point out is Nian Diamond has that 44 vision score, and I swear I never see ADCs with that much vision score. You know she's been stocking up on pinks.
And
She's,
it's really helpful. I mean, let's be real. You've got some serious assistance by your ADC that's allowing you to have even more clarity of this map. And it's those subtle things that can really change the entire fight when you've got a score like that over your opponent.
And also the hawk shots just means that she's been spotting enemies with boards and also the hawk shots. So I feel like that could be one of the reasons why Bradley have been able to find all of these great flanks and engages is because they have like an insane vision game that just allows them to know where their enemies are. So and they're just invading right here. They don't care. They're walking into their jungle. I mean, getting vision down, waiting for this dragon that's about to spawn in 15 seconds. I feel a fight coming.
It's definitely brewing. I don't know if the oven's fully preheated, but it's getting there.
You got the bowls out. You got the ingredients laid out, but like you're not sure if you want to cook. Like you're not sure if you're hungry. But here's Wukong finding a big engage.
Now with the potential follow-up over the wall, you've got the Galio stun. Here is a ton of damage onto Truck. Gonna get taken down by Tanman. Complete damage in the backside, looking for a double, manages to get it, and here comes the triple as Chili Cheese plays hyper-aggressive, but in the while, Diamond on this Ashe play, getting a double themselves, looking for the follow-up onto Momo as the Cylon Afterlife comes through with Momo going to almost get the kill. Momo surviving, Tanman bailing out of this. The ace in the hole wants the kill, but the body block comes through as Diamond survives through the ult.
And that's just a tale of two cities. One city, they kill 3, other city, they kill 3, and they're going to start the dragon up, but Tanman over the wall, has enough range to probably auto the dragon now. Is he going to contest it? He has the cube. There is no smite, so if he cues at just the right time, almost the steal, but that's going to be red team, or Bradley University picking up the 3rd dragon of the game, taking us to Soul Point.
And the fact that they've got so much missing health regeneration now, 5%, also with the defensive nature of that Mountain Drake that they've already gotten, they have so much more survival and outlast capability in these long-run fights that have been happening multiple times now. These aren't quick engages when it comes between these two teams. There's a lot of evasion. You've got the ADCs playing very aware of where those dive potentials are, coming out from the Wukong, coming out from Skiko on the Jarvan. So it's really just seeing how these two ADCs maneuver around the map, which is brilliant to see.
I will say that in terms of late game, I definitely favor Caitlyn. She just has so much range, and she just hit this 3-item spike. She has IE, she has Stormrazor, and she also has Rapid Fire Cannon, so she's going to be hitting enemies when the enemy can't even see her, because she has so much ridiculous range. So what if we Kiss can play around Caitlyn like they did last fight, where she just found 3 kills? I mean, they could be looking at themselves picking up more kills. I mean, it's 16-27, but the gold lead, it's only 5K.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a massive differential here. You've got Momo on the front, gonna look for the stun. Unbelievable 4-man knock up here as that Wukong stun will be absolutely critical to try and take this fight. Momo in the back, gonna get melted almost instantly as the follow-up here. Double for Truck, as Pegleg, the only remaining member, tries to do what is possible with the few seconds remaining. Triple in this late game for the early struggling Truck Chan Wukong, gonna potentially transition and now take this Baron.
Mind you, San wasn't even there. That was all Galio, Wukong, and Rumble. That was just them chaining their ultimates so beautifully in that little corridor that What If We Kiss was trapped into. And that's gonna be a Baron and an inhib for Bradley. Just well played. That 30-second period just broke the entire game open.
The part of this too that's really difficult for Loyola is this is the 2nd time, and in the same spot you have found Loyola reach their shortcomings. That Wukong ultimate has done so much work in that try area where the warding comes out. Momo played too far forward, had the opportunity to dive in, force the flash, no evasion after the flash was used, and you just saw Bradley exploit it instantly.
Yeah, I mean, What If We Kiss? They just need to adapt and change up how they're playing, because we just keep seeing them grouping and in those little quarters. But Caitlyn crits they're so big, and they just gotta play like a front to back sort of keep Mordekaiser and Jarvan up front and keep Caitlyn in the back with Morgana, make sure that she is alive. The Crystal Arrow gonna find the Caitlyn, and there is nobody there to save her. That's gonna be Truckchamp picking up the kill.
That is so much damage between the two. And the other disadvantage that Loyola has, they have some peel potential for the Caitlyn, along with Caitlyn having their own disengage capabilities. But you've got Wukong for a stun. You also have that assistance from the Galio, from the Scion. There is so much to peel for Diamond versus this, you know, Tan Man Caitlyn outside of the stun and the Jarvan. It can be so more beneficial for Bradley as Bradley continues to push towards this mid lane turret.
Yeah, they have the Baron, and their bot lane has supers coming in. They're gonna have to deal with that. And they have every lane pushing in, and this is exactly how I want to see teams using the Baron. Have every lane pushing, send members into every lane, and try to take as many objectives as they can. And if they play this right, they can get all 3 inhibs in the next 3 minutes.
Well, and the hardest part is you've got Caitlyn trying to rotate to the bottom to handle the super minions. You've lost your significant ADC that is critical for these fights. Another turret down, and this inhibitor opens up. Skiko trying to compete against Chili Cheese, but there is no capability of that happening on the follow-through. With the Mordekaiser Pegleg still a viable option for an engaged start as Scion still presses this top lane, but the turret does go down, and now both inhibitors that remain are open.
Yeah, what if we kiss? They're stuck between a rock and a hard place with all of their inhibs exposed. I mean, they really have to dominate every team fight from now on, because if they leave even a couple members alive, then they could be looking at losing an inhib. But Dragon's going to be spawning in 3 seconds. Jarvan not even in the vicinity. This could be so easily going over to Bradley.
The only opportunity here is to try and... That's not... Yeah, I was going to say, the only opportunity is no longer there. As you've got Scion still pushing. The attempt even to go close to that Dragon was, at this point, practically wasteful. You've got the Morgana trying to lock down Chili Cheese. Skiko needs to find an opportunity of keeping this character here, but the ultimate comes out, going to bypass any sort of crowd control. And a reset comes out once again. This is where now Bradley is just going to stack on every item they can before looking for this final engage, as the Baron is no longer available. And the Elder Dragon in 5.5, they can just sit pretty and try and poke at Loyola.
I don't see how Scion dies anymore. I mean, he even has stopwatch, for goodness sake. I mean, he has the Spirit Visage, the Sunfire Cape, Frozen Heart, and Merc Treads, and he has stacked up so many grasp passive stacks, so he just has all this extra health. And now he has Ocean Soul, so if he hits like a couple people with his Q, he's getting that all back. I mean, we saw in the top lane they tried to catch him out, the Borg landing a stun as well as the Jarvan engaging, but he didn't even take damage. He just had his shield from his W get broken. I mean, it's just insane. So, yeah. What if we kiss? They're just in such a bad spot, and they really have to pull a miracle out to win in a team fight.
Yeah, it really is Bradley's game to lose. The biggest benefit that you may have for Loyola is finding an early pick, a jump onto somebody, but that front line is so tanky. You have the Galio, you've got the Scion who lead the way, and even then, you still have that Wukong, despite pumping out a lot of damage, a lot of survivability and crowd control. So there is so much to get through to even near Diamond to try and pick off that ADC.
Yeah, and Wukong now has the GA, so if he monkeys around, it doesn't even matter. And they're going to find the engage on the Caitlyn. Crystal are going to come out. Galio finding a big stun.
Ooh, and Scion going to charge in from the side, forcing out the Zonias on the Morgana, trying to get out of the... Enough forces the flash. Skiko going to barely survive as Pegleg has to use the shield with the heal as well. Zonya's going to be activated as well. Diamond up close, wanting the follow-up here onto the Mord. No ability to stop that ADC as Tan going to go down very quickly from Chili Cheese. Skiko trying to give some assistance to that back line that does remain, but Momo was out of mana. Pegleg having to retreat back to the base, looking to survive through all of that incoming damage. There is not going to be enough. That's the second inner turret down as this Nexus is cracked open, and it will be a complete and utter destructive victory here for Bradley in this late game. 5 members surrounding that base, exerting dominance over Loyola.
At the end of the game, they had a 14K gold lead, which is massive. I mean, Just every member on the side of Bradley University just playing so well. They had a couple hiccups in the early game. That's definitely what happened, but they absolutely brought it together. They basically made fights appear out of thin air, so I have to give them props to how well they set up team fights and also the vision.
Yeah, it really was absolutely helpful from start to finish. And the other thing, too, is if we take a look at the damage output here, Ash towards the end of it taking the lead. Not surprising. But the significant part is you did still have a lot of damage coming out by Pegleg, Momo, and Tanman accumulatively to try and compete against the Ash Wukong damage output. Sion really just being that meat shield. And even Rumble not pumping out as much as you would anticipate, which is quite typical coming against a lane when you're going against a Syndra who is so much outpacing you in that early to mid game and even partially into the late game. It's not surprising. But seriously, I would have to say, out of all of these individuals, with the Wukong changes, despite the early deficit that Wukong had from Truck, the turnaround in the end and finding those massive stuns on the ultimate takes the MVP for me. Personally, I think that despite that deficit, it was a great turnaround and kept the morale going for the team.
I agree. I think Truck Chan absolutely turned things around, and I think one of the most valuable things that he did was that he adapted. He adapted his play. He saw that the early game wasn't going too well, so then he started to change up how he's finding engages, how he's playing around his team members, and it absolutely benefited the team. I mean, and yeah, I mean, he was able to find these fights where he was like, okay, Galio, I'm going to engage. You ult on top of me. Sion, you ult in too. And we'll make it happen. And that's exactly what happened. They made it.
And for all of you that did tune in, listened, watched, and enjoyed, we greatly appreciate you having you here. We had some amazing matchups here. Unfortunately, Loyola not going to keep their win streak over the last couple of weeks to compete against us so far, as we do have Bradley taking the win. And for those of you that, before we sign off, make sure to take a look in the lower section where you can find the GG Leagues Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where you can find out all the information and updated news as we continue to bring you more live events here with this League of Legends, along with many other games as well. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Stay healthy, stay full with lots and lots of goodness for this next time that we're going to have another GG League matchup. And I got to tell you, Dave, it's been a pleasure to cast with you, my friend, today.
Yes, thank you, and you too. And as we were saying, stay healthy, stay distanced. I think that's an important message that we got from this game. And have a good night.